Page 763. Alzheimer's disease, 7/1/1995. The Economist. One step forward. A gene discovered in families with a history of Alzheimer's. Research in genetic aspects, brain disease, pre-senile dementia. A protein part cluttering brains of AD patients. Shepherding fats around the bloodstream, a gene that is associated with AD in the late onset people. Aberrant genes not in all Alzheimer's families. Chromosome 14, a common trait in AD, affects people as young as 30. Ethnic origins, some linked to chromosomes 14. Picture of a woman's face. Vitamins to reduce Alzheimer's. In dosages recommended. Page 764. Families with chromosome 14 from Italy and Japan. How small families to test theories of disease. Genetic makeups in the DNA. People from regions. 19 genes were screened and found in AD patients. Genes compared to normal people. Discovering gene in AD does not mean a cure around the corner. Protein associated with AD triggers development of plaques on nerve tangles. Nerve tangles, a sign of AD in the membrane in protein structures. Gene S182 causes excessive amounts of beta-anhyl in the brain tissue. Study of genes may help families of AD patients biologically. Economist newspaper, Ltd., 1995. Garlic, onion, beans rid us of aluminum and other toxic metals. Post-breakfast, May Wright. Page 765. Magazine ad for gifts. Attitude isn't everything. Give the gift of your time. Organic germanium and immunity. Interferon production enhanced in immune-compromised people. Metabolic pathways from germanium may have the ability to normalize lymphocyte cells. Appendix B, germanium. References, studies. Houses pass. Vetoes, votes. Page 766. Veto. The one and only you, 13 points to focus on. Positive comments to self-image. Allow people to know me intimately, despite being hurt. 13. Communicate in groups. Foods contain germanium amounts found in them. Ryan, Judge, Into the Whirlwind, Get Kidneys, Contacts, I am motivated and carry out projects important to me. Page 767. Spawning Hope. Outcry in Kearney over liquor sales to minors. Death of a spouse brings financial and legal decisions. Tissue donors. Calendar for September 2005. Mercury exposure. 9/8/2005 printing. Millions of dollars spent to promote use of mercury in classrooms. 2/8/2005 article. February 4th. Give Kids a Smile Day around the country in the state schools. Mercury fillings touted. Attempts to sell by pestering people boldly. To school children of low-income parents. Mercury causes learning difficulty. Mercury causes anxiety. Mercury causes chronic fatigue. Mercury causes depression and immunological complications. Mercury vapors released under black light show that children breathe every day. Mercury forms on amalgams under the microscope. Mercury needs tooth drilled away to fill it. Mercury causes chronic toxicity. Mercury shouldn't be placed in children. Children should not be exposed to X-rays and radiation. New methods make drilling and injections unnecessary. Current teaching methods equate to surgical devices in museums, affording amalgam removals. Mercury to be banned in Sweden. Picture 768. Picture of a cat. About a big trust. Field notes. Social Security can't remain fiscally sound without revamping. Specialized pediatrics dentistry should be available freely. Dental students at schools required to use mercury to graduate. Dental students have to learn how to remove amalgam safely. Dental students have to learn how to place composites. Composites require less drilling, less likely to damage the tooth structure. California passed a law giving low-income mercury-free choice. California dentists not honoring the law, offering alternatives. Free mercury dentistry sets up for lifetime of complications. Mercury causing series of unresolved digestive problems. Chewing on mercury and amalgams turns into a lifetime of neurological problems in a child, and then their children. Page 769. Picture of a camera, a fire in the background, birds on a tree limb. Bible, Scripture, Philippians 2:16. Hold out the word of God, life. Boys telling dad the Bible meaning, basic information before leaving the earth. CERHR, Mercury, 4/30/2004 overview. Mercury exposure sources, level in the body, unborn children, in fish, amalgams, religious practices, spills in households, regulations. Burning coal produces airborne mercury from power plants, a fire in the sky. Adjust. Page 770. Children born after the Minamata Bay contamination had severe nervous system damage. Minamata Bay contaminated by a Cisco Corporation, 1932 to 1968. Contaminated fish eaten by people, 1956. Minamata disease discovered. Iraq studies shows children from grain contaminated causes longer to be able to walk. Faroe Islands contaminated whale cause low scores on brain function. FDA and EPA recommend no fish with high mercury. FDA, EPA called high levels of swordfish, shark, king mackerel, and tilefish. FDA, EPA recommend 12 ounces of fish a week for 2 meals. FDA, EPA, low mercury fish, shrimp, canned tuna, salmon, pollock, and catfish. Albacore tuna, higher mercury levels, only 6 ounces a week. U.S. Public Health Service, FDA position there is no scientific evidence supporting limited use of amalgams, 2004. WHO, New Zealand, German, and Canadian governments conclude no evidence. Removing amalgam during pregnancy not recommended. EPA proposed national standards for hazardous air pollutants requiring low emissions. EPA 2004. EPA classified mercury as developmental toxin harmful to unborn children. Acceptable levels of mercury developed in water, seafood, dental amalgams, medical treatment. OHA limits level of mercury in the workplace. Page 771. Bioprobe newsletter, July 1995. Dr. McMillian and Dr. Ziff. ADA bails out on amalgam, leaves dentists hanging. ADA eliminates self from responsibility in civil lawsuits. ADA attorneys reply to the suit. ADA owes no duty of care to protect the public. Allegedly dangerous products. ADA did not manufacture, design, supply, or install amalgams. ADA does not control those who do. ADA only provides information on amalgams. Dissimulation of information does not create a duty of care to protect the public. C.A. Luz Santa Clara. In face of ever-increasing scientific documentation casting doubt on the safety, ADA admitted scientific proof of safety of amalgam does not exist. Dentistry has unwavering support for amalgam. Safety amalgam, none, only that's used for 150 years. ADA Division of Scientific Affairs, JADA. Page 771. Okay, I'm still here. 1990. When your patients ask about your amalgam, FDA never accepted and classified dental amalgams. FDA accepts dental amalgam and amalgam alloy as safe and effective dental devices. Classification of devices, 110, Final Rule, 12th of August, 1987, Federal Register. Table of contents in the news bulletin, Canadian, Alaska, California, and Pennsylvania. Science in minutes of exposure. News of importance to you. Culture Watch. Scripture, Hosea 4:6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Trusts. Common Law Pure Trust Organization. Duration, trustees, number, and tenure. Trust distributed to certificate holders. Photographer and portraits. Page 772. Bioprobe newsletter. Support from dentistry functioned as a security blanket, ostensibly, supposedly offering assurance of protection. Dentistry is a court of law, washes it, hands of legal responsibility from the adverse effects of amalgam. ADA, a voluntary professional organization, has no legal authority to regulate any dental material. IAOMT, 11th Annual Scientific Symposium. Trustees' powers and functions. Units of beneficial interest in the trust. Trusts operate businesses. Own property. Distribute income. Own stocks to trust certificate holders. Page 775. No place like home. Picture of a magazine cover. Reader's Digest. Home instead. Infant mortality preterm before 37 weeks of gestation account for 2/3 of infant deaths. Preemies in the U.S. is 1 in 8 births preterm. Infant deaths per 1,000 live births. Number of infants in the U.S. dying in the first year fallen steadily. Pediatric neurologists 10 years ago wanted to reduce preemies born. Disciples Net. Page 776. Pictures of a boy and girl. How to raise kids who care. Restored Hope. 2009 Metahero. Faith Christian Church. Go, Grow, Serve. show Christ. Soar with eagles. Sunday, September 20th, 2009. Sermon: 47% of the population in the U.S. is living with a chronic illness. A tooth for less. Odds of a child becoming a professional athlete is 1 in 16,000. Odds of a child being diagnosed with autism, 1 in 150. Picture of 2 men eating popcorn, a stethoscope, a mean surgeon's skill can buy me love. Page 777. Scripture. Study the word. Dwell. Page of books with chapters and verse. Picture of an exclamation point. Couples love sets example. God and war. A passion for excellence. Comfort for the lost, and it was so certainty. How see. Better is one day in your courts. Scripture, page 778. Scriptures with words, the words dwell. God art. Produces consider Sioux food. Orchestra, 20 willing to share. Make dining out finer. Ask for God's guidance. All the world is a stage. Delinquencies and foreclosures reflected in commerce. House fund, mom housing needs. Scripture, Isaiah 33:14. Who can dwell with the consuming fire? Spy art. Picture of Tom, Jared, Billy, and Blake. The scriptures, 2 Thessalonians 3:15. There's Tom, Jared, Billy, and Blake. Pray message spreads rapidly. 2 Timothy 2:1-5. A wise and discerning heart. Border of pictures. School prayer. Trinity Church skeptical. Not tab. Excellence and sophistication, unbelievable stuff. Omaha and hopes sell behind him forever. Page 780. A border of pictures. Guest of the day. Meet your neighbors. Augment lumpectomy. A mighty wind. Wall Street technology. Goals. A committee. Page 781. Scripture, Ephesians 3. To him who is able to do immeasurably more. Prayer. Restoration takes flight. Dawn of new age. An index for people picture perfect thankfully. Some exciting things scientists found. Picture of a woman in dew walking. Woman sleeping. Trying to sleep. 2 Kings 11:23. God raised up an adversary. Dam's address in Washington, D.C. Consumers for Dental Choice Project. Compounds found in aloe vera listed. Page 782. Picture of a carousel. A list of aloe compounds used for aloe vera. A legacy for the future generations. Picture of a man with a bag. Sulfur-rich foods. List includes eggs, nuts, meat, cheddar cheese. Page 783. How big a nest egg? What you'll need to retire. Living expenses, new retirement expenses. Sulfur and hair growth. Sulfur mineral present in every cell in the body. Sulfur called healing mineral, beauty mineral. Sulfur promotes circulation, decreases inflammation. MSM, sulfur, present in protein-rich foods. MSM is a supplement of sulfur. BBB Integrity Awards. Melody that a loved one played never the same again. A melody. Seek new friends to walk around roads of life with. Make your good names known. Page 784. Book MSM, the natural solution for pain. Picture of a tuxedo on a mannequin. $100 spent on 2 tuxedo rentals. Dams planned for just what you want. Kit waiting. MSM use relatively recent. 1955 MSM study. Marine life as algae transforms inorganic sulfur. MSM as safe as drinking water. No chance of overdose. MSM, 2,000 milligrams a day times years, no toxicity from it. MSM, water-soluble mineral, excess flushes out. 1,000 potent treated with MSM for osteoarthritis to allergies. Hair growth increased from 100% from patients. No published evidence MSM will improve health problems under sulfur deficit present. Sulfur deficiency signs: dry skin, brittle hair, nails, sore joints, muscles, diabetes, headaches, allergies, fatigue. Sulfur not produced in the body. Plants grown in sulfur-rich sulfur will absorb. Animals eating sulfur-rich plants will absorb it. Chemicals, pesticides, fertilizers deplete soil of sulfur. Processed foods stripper of sulfur. Recommended daily allowance of sulfur not issued. Adequate protein daily believed to provide sufficient sulfur. Nutritionists and MSM manufacturers recommend 2,000 to 8,000 milligrams daily. Sulfur-rich creams treat arthritis and scalp conditions. Sulfur reduces sebum production. Onion rubbed in the scalp before shampooing, an effective treatment for a scalp problem. Page 785. Picture of Alzheimer's ad. Can AD be prevented? Reality: economic reform is moving forward. MS, final season failure to launch. AD damage from inflammation. NIA Clearinghouse, address, number, and email. Aging and AD resource. Drugs named for AD with side effects. AD drugs, cholesterol inhibits and can cause stomach ulcers. Moral questions. Page 786. AD named after German doctor in 1906. Autopsy on woman with mental illness, clumps. Brain with tangled bundles of fibers in AD patients. None of the medications stop AD. Sue's crackdown. Headaches are a pain for doctors to treat also. 1994 survey, treatment for headaches dissatisfied in 25% of responses. Half of all Americans experience headaches. 10 million disabled by headaches. Headaches are either muscle spasms in the neck or blood vessels feeding the head. Tension from stress, fatigue, misalignment of cervical spine causes headaches. Menstrual pain, nutritional deficiencies, eye disorders, and medication can cause headaches. Analgesics rebound phenomenon causing headaches from medication taken for them. Aspirin, acetaminophen, ibuprofen taken in excess cause rebounding. MSM not a quick fix like aspirin. Wear and tear on joints leads to osteoarthritis. Osteoarthritis is the number one chronic pain condition. Cartilage enables us frictionless movement of parts. Cartilage becomes degraded over years. Cartilage degrading produces enzymes that further damage tissue. Inflammation in joints affect the tissue lining, tendons, and ligaments. Arthritis Foundation said 21 million Americans have degenerated arthritis, ages 65 and over. Arthritis, number one cause of disability in age 65 and over. Arthritis, number one over back pain, cancer, diabetes, heart, and lung conditions. Medical treatment for arthritis can be determined, taken for a length of time. Lap Music Cafe, survival possible, smiles for them, and savings for you. Page 787. Picture of a mountain stream. Health-centered acquisition brood-based increase profits at the Bank of America. Sulfur and hair growth. Sulfur, a mineral present in every cell in the body. Sulfur greatest concentrated in hair, skin, nails. Sulfur promotes circulation and decreases inflammation. Hair turns white or gray with age. Gray hair by 40th birthday in 40% of Americans. Page 788. Gray hair can be passed down genetically. Hair color changes due to pigmentation. Melanoma ceases to be produced in hair root, causes gray hair. Genes responsible for hair graying. Leukemia treatment, drug causes natural color to return. 1996 British study found tobacco smoking may cause premature graying. Smokers 4 times more likely to be gray than non-smokers. Copper essential to all living organisms. Copper deficiency widespread, appears in many forms. Elastin, fibers in blood vessels, skin from copper. 1937, copper deficiency recognized in swaybacks in neonatals. Cerebellum and spinal cord cell death identical to cerebral palsy. Deaths from copper deficiency, aneurysms. 4 to 6 of every 100 Americans autopsied died of an aneurysm. 40% died with aneurysm not ruptured. 80 to 120 milligrams of copper concentration in brain and liver and heart kidneys. Lowest concentration of copper in bone and muscle. Bone and muscle contain 50% of the body's copper reserve. Greatest concentration of copper in newborns, their daily requirement, higher. Copper in plasma. Can you predict your medical future? Page 789, the summary of diseases associated with vitamin mineral deficiencies. Your education continues. Listed deficiency with mineral and toxicity from deferred. Pica, craving sweets. Deficit in chromium and vanadium. List of deficiencies, page 790. Vitamins and toxicity causing 300,000 Americans killed in hospitals from negligence. 56,000 in 10 years in Vietnam. 1/13 of 1993 Ralph Nader report. Human body needs 90 nutrients daily for good health. 60 minerals and 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, protein, and 3 fatty acids. Deficiency diseases cause death. Wonder Bread rapper, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, Joel Wallach, 1991, Nobel Prize nominee.